Welcome to Pivoted Computer Education. Today we'll be discussing a very key topic in cybersecurity and ethical hacking. We'll be talking about penetration testing. Penetration testing is one of the most important aspects when it comes to cybersecurity and ethical hacking. For for any developer or any network designer to launch a network, to launch application or to launch a system, they should be able to run vulnerability testing to see the weakness of the system of the network. So a cybersecurity have to run a pen testing to ensure there's no weakness in the system or in the application or on the network. But if a cybersecurity fails to do that and a black hacker able to find the weakness in such application or network or system, a black hacker will use it to exploit the system or the network. So that's why it's a very key topic when it comes to cybersecurity and ethical hacking. So we're going to be discussing open ports, we're going to talk about protocol, we're going to talk about closed ports, we're going to talk about a fitted and unfitted port. Now first, what is protocol? Protocol has to do with the rules that govern how a computer be connected to each other. Now, if I'm sending an email to a client, I should be able to have a protocol that will move that pack from me to the client. Because it's an email, it has a port number, it has a protocol, it has what is called service. And that service might likely to be SMTP. If I want to browse on the internet, browse a website, I should be able to have a service and a protocol that will be able to get me information from the server. Maybe HTTP or HTTPS protocol will be able to do that. Now, these hackers, black hackers, run a vulnerability against this port number and find a vulnerability to penetrate into the system. Now, before you can able to do that, if that system must have what is called an IP address. What is an IP address? IP address has to do with a unique identifier. To identify a particular system in a router, in a switch, in a network, it must have an IP address. So that is where we will begin, by scanning a single IP address that will enable us to get a port number. And I begin to run scan on each port number. So that's what we'll be doing today. Now, first, what is penetration testing? Penetration testing is an authorized stimulated attack performed on a computer system to evaluate its security. Penetration tester uses the same tools, techniques, and process as attacker to find and demonstrate the business impact of weaknesses in a system. Penetration tests usually stimulated a variety of attacks that could threaten a business, that could examine whether a system is robust enough to withstand attack from authenticated and unauthenticated positions, as well as a range of system rules with the right scope. A pen test can dive in any aspect of a system. So this is the great aspect we'll be looking at, a pen testing. So they have to look for weakness to see if the system, the network, can withstand any attack. That is pen testing. And we're going to be using a very strong tools. These tools are used by professional cybersecurity. The tools is known as MAMP. Now, what do we understand by MAMP? MAMP is a network scanning tools, an open source Linux command used for network exploitation, host discovering, and security auditing. MAMP is a popular network sniffing tool used by many cyber security professionals. So we're going to be using MAMP as a tool. So we have MAMP in Windows. We also have MAMP in Kali Linux. So we are going to be using Kali Linux terminal to run MAMP, and MAMP is pre-installed in Kali Linux. Now the next thing is open port. An open port is a network port configured to accept or incoming connection using protocol like TCP and UDP, include in every IP addresses. When a port is open, a particular port number on a device is accessible and actively listening for incoming connection. In contrast, a closed port rejects or ignores connection. Now we have what is called open port and a closed port. A open port listening to incoming connection. If any port that is open, that means it will accept any connection. Sometimes hacker believe that any open port can be hacked because it can listen to connection. So you can try to do any manipulation to bypass any security. But a closed port it does not listen to any connection. Now, when they said a closed port also does not mean the port number does not exist. For instance, if you are using a mobile phone and you remove the SIM or you switch off the phone, at that moment it's closed, it's not reachable. But if now turn it on and then put your SIM, at that point in time it's available. So it's listening to what? To connection. That is the difference between a closed port and open port. Now let's look at filtered. A closed port can be opened up at any time if an application or service is started. A filtered port indicates that a firewall, filtered, or other network issues is blocking the port. Some standard devices that can create a filter port can be, but limited to, a server or network firewalls, router or security devices. Now, a filter port it does not mean it's closed, either is opened. But it does not listen to connection. because of what? Security measure. Either the security by a firewalls or by a router that enable the port number to listen to incoming connection. So it has to do with security that block maybe firewalls. If a cybersecurity, you should know what firewalls is all about. Firewall has to do with incoming and outgoing, to accept or not to accept, right? If the incoming file or pack is not trusted, it's a malicious that the probes were received but a state could not be established. Open slash filtered. This indicates that the port was filtered or open, but the state could not be what? Established. That is all about filtered, unfiltered ports. Because at the course of this tutorial, you are going to see a lot of about open port, closed port. I just want you to have a good concept of open port, closed port, unfiltered port, and filtered ports. So now we are going to start our practical. We are going to start our practical by scanning a single IP. So all you need to do for me right now, go and start your Kali. And if you don't have Kali in your system and you want to follow us in this tutorial, go and watch my previous tutorial on how to prepare ethical hacking lab, and it will show you step by step on how to install Kali Linux on your system. So now let's open our Kali Linux.